20 minutes of reading the compound effect. Let's go. The ripple effect. The results in the above examples seem dramatic, I know, but it goes even deeper than that. The reality is that even one small change can have a significant impact that causes an unexpected and unintended ripple effect. Let's put one of Brad's bad habits under the microscope, eating rich food more frequently, to better understand how the compound effect can also work in a negative way and create a ripple effect that impacts your entire life. Brad makes some muffins from a recipe he learned from the Food Network. He's proud. His family loves it, and it seems to add value all around. He starts making them and other sweets frequently. He loves his own cooking and eats more than his share, but not so much that anyone notices. However, that extra food makes Brad sluggish at night. He wakes up a little groggy, which makes him cranky. The crankiness of sleep deprivation begin to impact his work performance. He's less productive, and as a result gets discouraging feedback from his boss. By the end of the day, he feels dissatisfied with his job and his energy level is way down. The commute home seems longer and more stressful than ever. All of this makes him reach for more comfort food. Stress has a way of doing that. The overall lack of energy makes Brad less likely to take walks with his wife like he used to. He just doesn't feel like it. She misses their time together and takes his withdrawal personally, with fewer shared activities with his wife and an absence of fresh air and exercise. Brad's not getting the endorphin release that had also helped make him feel upbeat and enthusiastic. Because he's not as happy, he starts finding fault with himself and others and stops complimenting his wife. As his own body starts to feel flabby, he feels less self-confident, less attractive, and becomes less romantic. Brad doesn't realize how his lack of energy and affection toward his wife affects her. He just knows that he feels funky. He starts losing himself in late night TV because it's easy and distracting. Feeling his distance, Brad's wife starts to complain and then becomes needy. When that doesn't work, she emotionally withdraws to protect herself. She's lonely. She pours her energy into her work and spends more time with her girlfriends to fulfill her need for companionship. Men start flirting with her, which makes her feel desirable again. She would never cheat on Brad, but he has a feeling something's wrong. Instead of seeing that his poor choices and behaviors are at the root of their problems, finds fault with his wife, believing that the other person is wrong, then looking inside and doing the work necessary to clean up your mess is basic psychology 101 stuff. In Brad's case, he doesn't know how to look inside. They don't offer self-improvement or relationship advice on Top Chef or his favorite crime shows. The thought doesn't occur to him that if he had read the personal development books his buddy Scott read, he might have learned about ways to change negative habits. Fortunately for Brad, the small choices he made on a daily basis created a ripple that wreaked havoc on every area of his life. Of course, all that calorie counting and intellectual stimulation has had the opposite effect with Scott, who's now reaping the bounty of positive results. This is the repeating of simple daily disciplines versus simple errors in judgment. It's that simple with enough time and consistency. The outcomes become visible. Better yet, they're totally predictable. The compound effect is predictable and measurable. That's great news. Isn't it comforting to know you only need to take a series of tiny steps consistently over time to radically improve your life? Doesn't that sound easier than mustering up some grand show of bravery and heroic strength only to wear yourself out and have to drum up all that energy again at a later date for another try, which will likely be unsuccessful? I'm exhausted just thinking about it, but that's what people do. We've been conditioned by society to believe in the effectiveness of a great display of massive effort. Heck, it's downright all-American. Success, old school. The most challenging aspect of the compound effect is that we have to keep working away for a while, consistently and efficiently, before we begin to see the payoff. Our grandparents knew this, though they didn't spend their evenings glued to the TV watching infomercials about how to have thin thighs in 30 days or a real estate kingdom in 6 months. Back in the day, most people worked 6 days a week, from sun up to sundown. The secret of success was then, and is now, hard work, discipline, and good habits. It's interesting that wealth tends to skip a generation. Overwhelming abundance often leads to a lackadaisical mindset, which brings about a sedentary lifestyle. Children of the wealthy are especially susceptible. These weren't the ones who developed the discipline and character to create the wealth in the first place. So it makes sense that they may not have the same sense of value for wealth or understand what's necessary to keep it. We frequently see this entitlement mentality in children of royalty, movie stars, corporate executives, and to a lesser degree in children and adults everywhere. As a nation, our entire populace seems to have lost appreciation for the value of a strong work ethic. We've had 3, if not 4 generations of Americans who have known great prosperity, wealth, and ease. Our expectations of what it really takes to create lasting success, things like grit, hard work, and fortitude, aren't alluring, and thus have been mostly forgotten. We've lost respect for the strife and struggle of our forefathers, the massive effort they put forth, instilled discipline, chiseled their character, and they stoked their spirit to brave new frontiers. The truth is, complacency has impacted all great empires, including but not limited to the Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and English. Why? Because nothing fails like success. Once dominant empires have failed for this very reason. People get to a certain level of success and get too comfortable. Having experienced extended periods of prosperity, health, and wealth, we become complacent. We stop doing what we did to get there. We become like the frog in the boiling water that doesn't jump to his freedom because the warming is so incremental and insidious that he doesn't notice he's getting cooked. If we want to succeed, we need to recover our grandparents' work ethic. It's time to restore our character. If not for the sake of saving America, at least for your own greater success and achievement. Don't buy into the genie in the lamp idea. You can sit on your couch waiting to attract checks in your mailbox, rub crystals together, walk on fire, channel that 2,000-year-old guru, or chant affirmations if you want to. But much of that is hocus pocus. Commercialism, manipulating you by appealing to your weakness. Real and lasting success requires work and lots of it. I have a story to illustrate this nothing fails like success story concept. A great new restaurant opened up close to my home on the beach in San Diego. In the beginning, the place was always immaculate. The hostess had a big, welcoming smile for everyone. The service was impeccable. The manager came over and assured it, and the food was sensational. Soon, people started lining up to eat there and would often wait more than an hour to be seated. Then, unfortunately, the restaurant staff began to take its success for granted. The hostess became snooty. The service staff disheveled and curt, and the food quality became hit or miss. The place was out of business. Within 18 months. They failed because of their success, or rather, because they stopped doing what made them successful to begin with. Their success clouded their perspective and they slacked off. Page 16, microwave mentality. Let's get it. Understand the compound effect will rid you of instant results expectation. The belief success should be as far as your fast food, your 1-hour glasses, your 30-minute photo processor, your overnight mail, your microwave eggs, your instant hot water and text messaging. Enough, okay? Promise yourself that you're going to let go once and for all of your lottery winner expectations because... I got lost. Of your lottery winner expectations because, let's face it, you only hear stories about the one winner, not the millions of losers. That person you see jumping up and down in front of the Vegas slot machine or holding the big check on TV doesn't reveal the hundreds of times that same person lost. If we go back to our mathematical chance of a positive result, again, we have a rounding error of 0. As in, you have about 0 chance of winning. Harvard psychologist Daniel Gilbert, author of Stumbling on Happiness, says if we gave lottery losers each 30 seconds on TV to announce, not I won, but I lost it would take almost 9 years to get through the losers of single drawing. When you understand how the compound effect works, you won't pine for quick fixes or silver bullets. Don't try to fool yourself into believing that a mega successful athlete didn't live through bone-crushing drills and thousands of hours of practice. She got up early to practice and kept practicing long after all others had stopped. She faced the sheer agony and frustration of the failure, loneliness, hard work, and disappointment it took to become number one. By the end of this book, or even before, I want you to know in your bones that your only path to success is through a continuum of mundane, unsexy, unexciting, and sometimes difficult daily disciplines compounded over time. Know too, the results, the life and the lifestyle of your dreams can be yours when you put the compound effect to work for you. If you use the principles outlined in the compound effect, you will create your fairy tale ending. Have I made my point? Good. Join me in the next chapter, where we will focus on the one factor that controls your life. Every victory or defeat, triumph or failure has started with this. Everything you have or don't have in your life right now has been because of this. Learn to change this and you can change your life. You can change your life. Let's discover what that is. Oh, I'm starting to get into it, chat. Chapter 2, Choices. We all come into this world the same, naked, scarred, and ignorant. After that grand entrance, the life we ended up with is simply an accumulation of all the choices we make. Our choices can be our best friend or our worst enemy. They can deliver us to our goals or send us orbiting into a galaxy far, far away. Think about it. Everything in your life exists because you first made a choice about something. Choices are at the root of every one of your results. Each choice starts a behavior that over time becomes a habit. Choose poorly and you just might find yourself back at the drawing board, forced to make new, often harder choices. Don't choose at all and you've actually made the choice to be the passive receiver of whatever comes your way. In essence, you make your choices, then your choices make you. Every decision, no matter how slight, alters the trajectory of your life. Whether or not to go to college, whom to marry, to have that last drink before you drive, to indulge in gossip or stay silent, to make one more prospecting call or call it a day, to say I love you, or let the moment pass by. Every choice has an impact on the compound effect of your life. This chapter is about becoming aware and making choices that support the expansion of your life. Sounds complicated, but you'll be amazed by its simplicity. No longer will 99% of your choices be unconscious. No more will most of your daily routines and traditions come as a reaction to your programming. You'll ask yourself and be able to answer, how many of my behaviors have I not voted on? What am I doing that I didn't consciously choose to do, yet continue to do every day? By employing the same idiot-proof strategies I've used to catapult my own life and career, strengthened by the compound effect, you'll be able to loosen the mysterious grip of the decisions that are unwinding your life and pulling you in the wrong direction. You'll be able to hit the pause button before stumbling into idiot territory. You'll experience the ease of making decisions that lead to behaviors and habits that support you every time. Your biggest challenge isn't that you've intentionally been making bad choices. Heck, that would be easy to fix. Your biggest challenge is that you've been sleepwalking through your choices. Half the time, you're not even aware you're making them. Our choices are often shaped by our culture and upbringing. They can be so entwined in our routine behaviors and habits that they seem beyond our control. For instance, have you ever been going about your business, enjoying life, when all of the sudden you made a stupid choice or series of small choices that ultimately sabotage your hard work and momentum, all for no apparent reason? You didn't intend to sabotage yourself, but by not thinking about your decisions, weighing the risks and potential outcomes, you found yourself facing unintended consequences. Nobody intends to become obese, go through bankruptcy, or get a divorce, but often, if not always, those consequences are the result of a series of small, poor choices. Elephants don't bite. Have you ever been bitten by an elephant? How about a mosquito? It's the little things in life that will bite you. Occasionally, we see big mistakes threaten to destroy a career or reputation in an instant. The evening newscaster who embellishes a wartime story, the southern chef who made racist comments to staff, the celebrated swimmer who gets caught lying about being robbed while in Brazil for the Olympics, and the royal prince who is friends with a convicted pedophile. Clearly, these types of poor choices have major repercussions, but even if you pull such a whopper in your past, it's not extraordinary, massive steps backward or the tragic single moments that we're concerned with here. For most of us, it's the frequent, small, and seemingly inconsequential choices that are of grave concern. I'm talking about the decisions you think don't make any difference at all. It's the little things that inevitably and predictably derail your success, whether they're bonehead maneuvers, no biggie behaviors, or are disgusted as positive choices. Those are especially insidious. These seemingly insignificant decisions can completely throw you off course because you're not mindful of them. You get overwhelmed, spaced out, and are unaware of the little actions that take you away off course. The compound effect works, all right. It always works, remember? But in this case, it works against you because you're sleepwalking. For instance, you inhale a soda and a bag of potato chips and suddenly realize only after you polish off the last chip that you blew an entire day of healthy eating and you weren't even hungry. You get caught up and lose 2 hours watching mindless TV. Scratch that. Let's give you some credit in making an educational documentary before realizing you spaced on preparing for an important presentation to land a valuable client. You blurt out a knee-jerk lie to a loved one for no good reason, when the truth would have worked just fine. What's going on? You've allowed yourself to make a choice without thinking, and as long as you're making choices unconsciously, you can't consciously choose to change that ineffective behavior and turn it into productive habits. It's time to wake up and make empowering choices. It's easy to point fingers at others, isn't it? I'm not getting ahead because of my lame boss. I would have gotten that promotion if it hadn't been for that backstabbing coworker. I'm always in a bad mood because my kids are driving me crazy. We're particularly gifted in the finger pointing department because when it comes to our romantic relationships, where the other person is the one who needs to change. A few years back, a friend of mine was complaining about his wife. From my observation, she was a terrific lady and was lucky to have her. He was lucky to have her. I told him as much, but he continued to point out all the ways she was responsible for his unhappiness. That's when I shared an experience that had literally changed my marriage. One Thanksgiving, I decided to keep a Thanksgiving journal for my wife every day for an entire year. I logged at least one thing I appreciated about her: the way she interacted with her friends, how she cared for our dogs, the fresh bed she prepared, a succulent meal she whipped up, or the beautiful way she styled her hair that day. Whatever. I looked for the things that my wife was doing that touched me or revealed attributes, characteristics. Sorry, chat, my voice is getting together. Characteristics or qualities I appreciated. I wrote them all down secretly for the entire year. By the end of the year, I'd fill an entire journal. Let's finish it. Oh, man. Let's finish this entire page. Oh, we've been getting into it, chat. Oh, my hands. Let's get it. I wrote them all down secretly by the entire year. By the end of that year, I'd fill an entire journey. When I gave it to her the following Thanksgiving, she cried, calling it the best gift she'd ever received. Even better than the BMW I'd given her for her birthday. The funny thing was that the person most affected by this gift was me. All that journaling forced me to focus on my wife's positive aspects. That heartfelt, focused, overwhelmed anything I might have otherwise complained about. I fell deeply in love with her all over again, maybe even more than ever, as I was seeing subtleties in her nature and behavior instead of her more obvious qualities. My appreciation, gratitude, and intention to find the best in her, I held in my heart and eyes each day. This caused me to show up differently in my marriage, which of course made her respond differently to me. Soon I had even more things to write in my Thanksgiving journal. As a result of choosing to take a mere 5 minutes every day or so to document all of the reasons why I was grateful for her, we experienced one of the best years of our marriage, and it's only gotten better. Page 24 of the Compound Effect. Let's get it, yo. Good momentum today, good momentum.